Have you ever felt exhausted for no clear reason? On the outside, everything seems fine. No one is criticizing you, no crisis has occurred, but inside, your mind feels like a dark room echoing the same thoughts over and over. Thoughts you never invited still creep in quietly, steadily, and then become familiar. I'm not good enough. Everyone will eventually leave me. I'm slowly becoming a burden. You don't say it out loud, but you feel it, and you go on living as if nothing's wrong, while the real battle is happening inside your mind, minute by minute, second by second. People don't just get tired from work or relationships. We grow weary from being pulled around by our own minds without realizing it. The Stoics taught that it's not the world that makes us suffer, but our thoughts about the world. When you learn to observe your thoughts instead of getting lost in them, you'll reclaim a power you once thought was gone, the power to choose your response. And if you're truly ready to break free from that loop of negativity, the path begins right here with the first principle. 1. You are not what you think. There is a common mistake many people make, confusing their thoughts with their identity. A negative thought arises, and we quickly assume it must be telling the truth about who we are. I'm not good enough. I'm a burden. I'll never accomplish anything meaningful. These statements echo in our heads like facts, while in reality, they're only the passing voices of a tired mind. The mind never stops producing thoughts, like a river that never ceases to flow. It creates hundreds of thoughts every hour, every day. Some are kind, some are strange, and some are frightening, and most are not consciously created by you. But when you attach your identity to everything your mind spits out, you surrender your power. You are no longer the observer, you become the victim swept away by the current within. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Our minds become what we repeatedly think." That doesn't mean you have to eliminate all negative thoughts. It means you must learn to filter them, to question them, and to stop believing everything that enters your head. Not every thought is true. Not every thought deserves your trust, and none of them can define you unless you allow it. To understand this, imagine you're sitting in a cafe, and a stranger at the next table says, "You're worthless." Would you believe them right away? Probably not. Then why, when your own mind says the same thing, do you accept it without question? Is it because it speaks in a familiar voice? Or because you've heard it so many times, you've mistaken it for a part of you? A core Stoic principle is this: examine your thoughts. When a negative thought arises, don't swallow it whole. Write it down. Play the role of a judge, demanding evidence. Ask, is this true? Do I have proof? I've thought this before. How did that turn out? If my best friend believed this, what would I tell them? When you ask these questions, you'll see most of what you think isn't truth. It's just echoes from the past, from fear, or from exhaustion. And if you can create even a small distance between yourself and that stream of thought, you reclaim the power to choose. A simple Stoic technique is to reframe the language. Instead of saying, "I'm a failure," say, "I'm having the thought that I've failed." It's a small shift, but it changes everything, because it separates you from the thought, allowing you to view it with greater clarity. Epictetus once offered a powerful metaphor. You cannot stop birds from flying over your head, but you can stop them from nesting in your hair. Thoughts are like that. You can't stop them from appearing, but you can stop them from taking root, from controlling you, from shaping how you see yourself. The image I love most is that of the sky and the clouds. You are the sky, vast, deep, and unbound by any cloud. Thoughts are just clouds, they come and go, sometimes dark, sometimes light. But no matter what they look like, the sky remains unchanged. And so do you. You are not what you think. You are the one who listens. And when you listen with awareness, you regain the right to decide which thoughts stay and which ones pass. If you want a simple practice, start here. Write down 3 recurring negative thoughts. Then write a logical rebuttal to each one as if defending a misunderstood friend. In doing so, you'll be doing exactly what the Stoics did over 2,000 years ago, not letting thoughts dictate your path, but choosing which ones deserve to lead it. And if today your mind feels like it's spinning, remember this. You are not the cloud drifting by, you are the sky watching it. You are not the voice that questions your worth. You are the one learning to listen without following. And in that moment, when you step back from the thought, you begin to reclaim your freedom. 2. Stop demanding life to be fair. There's a kind of exhaustion that's hard to name, the helplessness you feel when life doesn't go the way you hoped. You gave it your all, kept your word, lived with integrity, but others didn't. You worked hard, but opportunity went to someone who tried less. You loved sincerely, but they left without a word. And you ask yourself, sometimes screaming inside, why me? The truth is, life never promised to be fair. There is no scoreboard, no referee, no law that says if you live rightly, things will go your way, but the mind resists this truth. It keeps replaying a familiar chorus. This shouldn't have happened. It's unfair. It was supposed to be different. And it's that resistance, not the event, that multiplies your pain. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't teach you to love misfortune, but something even stronger, to accept what has already happened and respond to it with intention. Epictetus wrote, "Don't seek for things to happen as you wish. Wish for things to happen as they do, and you'll find peace." Simple in words, hard in practice, but it requires immense courage and reason. Because the moment you stop saying, "This shouldn't have happened," you stop torturing yourself over what cannot be changed. You stop rewinding time in your head. You stop building imaginary what-if scenarios. You return to the present, the only place you still have power. I remember a hauntingly simple story. A man leaves work and it begins to rain. He has no umbrella. Another man beside him also has no umbrella, but keeps walking, soaked but calm. The first man stands under a roof, cursing the sky, fuming at everything. The rain keeps falling, and after 30 minutes, he too is soaked just like the other man. The only difference, one is soaked in peace, the other in rage. That is the choice we all have when facing reality. One accepts and moves on, the other resists and burns himself from within. But the rain falls regardless. If you're holding on to disappointment because someone broke a promise, a dream collapsed, or a result felt undeserved, try saying something simple. It happened, and I'm still here. That phrase doesn't erase your feelings. It doesn't make the wound disappear, but it closes the door to the past and opens the present to begin again. The Stoics called this amor fati, love your fate, even the thorny parts. Not because they were dreamers. On the contrary, they were brutally realistic. They believed everything that happens exists for a reason, not to please us, but to shape us. When you stop demanding fairness, you begin to act from a place of creation, not victimhood. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, if this has happened, it was meant to happen, and if I'm here, then I am capable of facing it. That's not pride. It's perseverance. It doesn't seek excuses, it seeks responsibility. It doesn't ask, why me? It asks, now what? You don't have to rewrite your whole life to keep going. You just need to take one more step with the awareness that life isn't always fair, but you can be fair to yourself. Fair by not blaming yourself for what's beyond your control. Fair by choosing a response you can be proud of even when no one is watching. Fair by not letting disappointment turn you bitter. If you want a simple practice, try this. Whenever a thought like, "that shouldn't have happened," arises, gently remind yourself, "But it did. Now what will I do with it?" That one question shifts your mind from chaos to clarity, from resistance to resolve, from victim to creator. Life will never be something you can fully control, but every time you choose acceptance over judgment, you take back your authority. You don't need to conquer the world, you just need not lose yourself within it. 3. Don't trust the first emotion. There are moments when you react too quickly and then regret it. An unanswered message makes you feel ignored. A gentle suggestion suddenly makes you feel useless. A vague glance from someone feels like contempt. And before you can think clearly, you've already withdrawn, lashed out, said something hurtful, or started avoiding yourself. It all begins with one thing: the first emotion. The first emotion is often the most primitive part of your mind. It's not rational, it's not fair. It reacts, it doesn't analyze. And so, if you live by your first emotion, you'll always act from the most fragile part of yourself, the part filled with fear of abandonment, past shame, and insecurities you've never faced. Stoics never denied emotions, they simply refused to let them lead. They understood that emotions are like waves. The first wave is always the strongest, but it never lasts. And if you're grounded enough to stay still, you'll see. Most of what you want to do in the first 10 seconds isn't what you'll be proud of later. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The first thing to do is keep the mind from being disturbed. The second is to look at the situation clearly and understand its nature." These two steps are simple, but they're the foundation of not becoming a slave to whatever just passed through. When someone says something that hurts you, try not to react immediately. Step back mentally and observe. Did they really mean to insult you? Are you reacting to the present or to an old wound their words accidentally touched? Are you truly offended, or is it your pride that's been bruised? When you can ask those questions, you're doing what the Stoics called delaying reaction to observe the essence. A simple practice is to name the emotion before acting. Don't say, "I'm offended." Say, "I'm feeling hurt." Don't say, "They hate me." Say, "I'm afraid they might not like me." By using descriptive language instead of declarations, you create distance between feeling and response. And in that space, you rediscover reason. I remember once, a close friend didn't respond to my message for 3 days. My first emotion surged, "They're avoiding me. Did I do something wrong? Are they upset?" I felt rejected and resentful, but I didn't react. I sat down and wrote out every assumption in my head. Then I asked, "Do I have proof for any of this? Or is this just my emotion trying to interpret silence?" On the 4th day, the friend called. They had just gone through emergency surgery, and I went silent. Not just from worry, but from realizing how close I came to letting a first emotion ruin something that mattered. The Stoics had a powerful technique called the view from above, imagining the situation from a broader perspective, as if you were an outsider, or even looking down from space. When you do that, a harsh word, a cold stare, a rude act stops feeling like a blow to your worth and becomes just a ripple in life's flow. You become lighter, not because life is gentler, but because you no longer react from the smallness of fear. Remember, emotions are signals, not commands. You don't need to erase emotions to be strong, but you do need to wait until your mind clears before acting. Like how you shouldn't pour water into a glass when the surface is still churning, you won't see anything clearly. If you want a simple but powerful exercise, try this. Whenever emotion flares up, repeat silently, "I will wait." Wait an hour. Wait until tomorrow morning. Wait until you can speak without shaking hands or a trembling voice. And you'll find most of what made you want to react instantly is no longer worth it once you've calmed down. True strength isn't about feeling nothing. It's about feeling deeply without being ruled by what you feel. That's the kind of freedom Stoics train for every day, and you can do it too, starting with one small shift. Don't trust the first emotion. 4. Don't let false stories take over. Some things hurt, not because they're truly terrible, but because you've unconsciously wrapped them in a tragic story. It's not the event itself that breaks you. It's the story you keep telling yourself about it. We don't live with reality, we live with the version our minds create. And the danger is, once that story repeats enough, it starts to sound like truth. You get rejected from a job, and instead of simply thinking they chose someone else more fitting, you tell yourself, "I'm not valuable. No one sees my worth. I'll never be recognized." A friend hasn't reached out in a while, and instead of assuming they're busy or going through something, you start saying, "They don't care anymore. Maybe I'm just too boring for anyone to want around." The problem isn't reality. The problem is the story you invent to fill the gap where there's no clear answer. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If something external causes you pain, it is not the thing itself, but your judgment of it, and this you can revoke at any moment." That's not a denial of emotion, it's an invitation. Check which lens you're using to see things, reason or assumption. The human mind hates ambiguity. It can't stand unanswered questions. When it lacks explanation, it creates one. Sadly, that explanation often springs from old, painful beliefs, wounded memories, low self-worth, or bitter past experiences. We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. Even worse, a repeated story becomes part of your identity. You stop saying, "I was rejected." You say, "I always fail." It's no longer, "I feel unseen." It becomes, "I am invisible." At that point, you're not just hearing a story, you're living inside it. So how do you get out? The Stoics practiced a powerful method called separating fact from interpretation. Step 1. Write down the event as it is, without judgment, no exaggeration. For example, "I sent a message to a friend and they haven't replied in 3 days." That's it, no speculation. Step 2. Write down the story your mind is telling. "They're avoiding me. Did I do something wrong? Maybe they don't value me anymore." Then step 3. Rebut it like a skilled lawyer. "Do I have evidence they dislike me? Have they acted this way before? Have I ever replied late for valid reasons?" This process pulls your mind out of being a victim of imagination and returns it to being a steward of truth. Another example, your boss criticizes your work in a meeting. Immediately your mind screams, "He hates me, I'm probably getting fired." But pause. The fact is, my boss said today's work needs revision. That's it. Everything else you made up. And if you don't stop, you'll turn a piece of feedback into an attack on your self-worth, even when no harm was intended. You can't control what others say or do, but you can control the story you tell about it. You can tell it in a tone of bitterness, despair, and judgment. Or you can tell it with reason, self-compassion, and clarity. If you want a simple exercise, try this. The next time you feel hurt, write down the actual event and the story in your head. Then show both to a trusted friend and ask, Do you think this story makes sense? Often, a single outside perspective is enough to pull you out of the spiral of false assumptions. Always remember, your mind is a brilliant storyteller, but you are the final editor. You have the right to cross out the untrue sentences. You have the power to rewrite the ending. You have the choice not to let one bad chapter become the entire book. Because in the end, the truth is always simpler than fear. And when you stop telling false stories, you'll realize most of the pain you carry isn't from life itself. It's from the way you think about life. 5. Your environment shapes your thoughts. No one lives separate from the world. Your mind is not just a product of personal thought, but a result of what you absorb every day from the words of people around you. To short videos you scroll past online, to the light, the noise, and even the clutter in your room. The troubling part is that most of us don't realize this until we're already exhausted, and we don't know why. You can't grow flowers in toxic soil, just as you can't expect a peaceful mind if your surroundings are filled with noise, pressure, chaos, and negativity. The issue isn't that you're not strong enough. It's that you've grown used to breathing in an atmosphere that's slowly wearing you down and calling it normal. Take a moment to notice. Is the person you spend the most time with someone who constantly complains, judges, or speaks badly of others? Is your social media feed planting images in your mind that make you feel behind, incomplete, or less than? Does your living space help you think clearly? Or is it making your thoughts more chaotic through its disorder? Seneca once wrote, "Associate with those who can make you better, and be someone who can help others become better too." That doesn't only apply to friendships, it also applies to everything we allow into our lives, from words to images to daily habits. Your mind cannot stay sharp if it's constantly being poisoned by negative language, empty conversations, and hours of scrolling through content that makes you question your worth. We often think these things don't matter, just a few unconscious minutes, but it's exactly those unconscious minutes accumulated over years that shape how you think about yourself. Every complaint you hear, every body comparison clip, every joke made at someone's expense plants a seed in your mind. And one day, when you suddenly feel sad for no reason, or you overreact in a strange way, or you struggle to focus and stay calm, know this: those seeds have begun to sprout. The Stoics understood that to build inner strength, you must first create a healthy environment. They lived simply, chose their friends carefully, guarded their silence, and refused to waste energy on things that didn't nourish their intellect or their character. Not because they were cold, but because they understood this. Chaos outside can become chaos inside if you're not paying attention. Ask yourself, is my environment helping me think clearly, or is it constantly making me feel tense and scattered? What kind of energy are the people I spend time with feeding me? Do I have a space that's truly quiet, where I can return to myself? And most importantly, do I have the courage to clean my mental environment the way I clean my room each week? If you want to change your mind, don't start with mindset. Start with your surroundings. Clear your desk, turn off social media notifications, unfollow the content that makes you feel small. Spend less time with people who drag you into negativity. Create pockets of stillness in your day where the only sound is your own breath. This isn't about cutting yourself off from life. It's about living with intention. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Not every piece of content is worthy of a place in your mind. And not every habit should be kept just because it's familiar. You don't need to turn your life into a monastery, but you do need to realize your mind is a garden, and every day you're allowing something to be planted in it. That seed might be a kind word, a quiet minute, a beautiful paragraph, a sincere hug, or simply the self-respect it takes to decline a meaningless conversation. If your thoughts feel increasingly tangled, don't blame your weakness. Look around. What you might need isn't another piece of advice. It might be a different space. 6. You're tired, not broken. There are mornings when you wake up, look in the mirror, and don't recognize the look in your own eyes. Your body is still functioning, but your spirit feels dimmed. You feel no inspiration, no drive, no desire to do anything, not even the things you used to love. You begin to wonder, am I falling apart? Have I lost the ability to get back up? But the truth might be much simpler. You're not broken, you're just tired. In a society that glorifies hustle, tiredness is often mistaken for weakness. When you're not sharp, not productive, not energized, you immediately assume something is wrong with you. But the feeling of exhaustion isn't proof of failure. It's proof that you've been carrying too much for too long without allowing yourself to pause. The mind, like the body, needs recovery. No one expects a marathon runner to keep going without rest. Yet we expect ourselves to stay mentally sharp for months and years while sleeping poorly, eating inconsistently, having no personal space, and being constantly pulled by demands from work, society, and our own ambition. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are troubled, return to yourself. Let the quiet begin there." He didn't tell you to keep pushing all the time. He reminded you, your mind cannot be clear if it's always being stretched. And if you're feeling empty, quick to anger, or tempted to give up, you might not need another philosophy. You might just need to rest responsibly. One of the most deceptive things is how exhaustion colors everything negative. When you're tired, the world seems darker. A gentle suggestion sounds like criticism. A delayed text feels like rejection. A small setback becomes proof that you're failing. But you must know, when your body and nervous system are pushed beyond their limit, your mind no longer sees truth, it reflects depletion. Imagine driving through a mountain road. It's night. The fog is thick. You can't see anything clearly. You may think, there's a cliff ahead, I should stop. But maybe what's blocking your vision is just fog. And fog clears when morning comes. A tired mind is like that. It doesn't show you truth. It shows you your fears. It magnifies mistakes, dims your efforts, and convinces you that you're spiraling, when in fact, you're just passing through a stretch of road that requires pause, breath, and replenishment. The Stoics didn't glorify being strong all the time. They valued self-control, and part of self-control is knowing when to step back before you destroy yourself. Epictetus once said, "No one learns anything if they think they already know everything." And I believe you can't heal if you keep telling yourself, "I must be okay all the time." Instead of asking, "Why do I feel this way?" ask, "Have I slept enough? Have I eaten something nourishing? Have I had time alone? When was the last time I turned off my phone, stopped replying to everyone, and simply breathed?" Don't judge your mindset when you're hungry, sleep-deprived, or have just scrolled through 300 videos in 1 hour. Negative thoughts often don't come from truth, they come from depletion. If today you feel useless, lost, or dull, don't believe that story too quickly. Try going to bed early. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Drink water slowly. Sit by the window for 10 minutes without touching your phone. Write down what you're feeling, then don't judge it. See these simple acts as self-respect, just like how the Stoics quietly cleaned their minds after days of chaos. You don't need to rebuild your entire life at 2 a.m. just because you feel empty. Maybe you just need to turn off the lights and sleep. You don't need to immediately figure out your next path after a failure. Maybe you just need to sit in a quiet afternoon and let your mind breathe. And remember, fatigue is a reminder, not a conclusion. It's telling you it's time to return. Return to yourself, to what's simple, to your breath, to that quiet fullness you've forgotten while chasing the noise out there. And if you're in a quiet season right now, don't rush to call it a collapse. Call it recovery, because you haven't fallen. You're just resting so you can rise again, steadier than before. Was long enough to answer, it can change your entire way of living. What kind of person do I want to become? Not a question you write on a resume, not one for interviews, but a question you must ask yourself each morning with honesty, without pretense, without defense, without avoidance. Because if you do not deliberately envision the person you want to be, you will easily be swept into becoming the person shaped by circumstance, pressure, or the expectations of others. And that is how most people lose themselves, not in a single dramatic moment, but through each day lived without a clear sense of self. The Stoics did not let identity form by chance. They lived by a clear principle. Live in accordance with the best rational part of yourself, meaning every action, every reaction, every choice must answer the question, is this what the better version of me would do? And to achieve this, they practiced daily a habit that seems small, yet is immensely powerful: visualization. Before leaving the house, before meeting others, before entering the unavoidable collisions of life, the Stoics spent a few minutes to envision. They did not envision results. They envisioned qualities. Not what would happen, but how they would respond. Not what they would gain, but what values they would live by, no matter what came. You can try this each morning, right after silence, writing, movement, and your reminder. Sit upright, close your eyes, and ask, today, who do I want to show up as? Not in the eyes of others, but in your own eyes when night falls and you face yourself in silence. Picture yourself walking into the workplace, or a high-pressure room, or a situation that easily tests your temper. What will you hold your gaze? Picture speaking with someone who hurt you, or with someone before whom you often hide your true self. Will you dare to keep respect without submission? Will you dare to keep calm without coldness? When you visualize, you are not pretending, you are tuning yourself. You are teaching your mind to recognize the right quality before the moment arrives. And when it does, you will not be confused, for your mind is already primed. It will say, I have seen this before, and I know how I must live. Just as an actor rehearses before stepping on stage, or a warrior trains his stance before battle, the Stoic trains the mind before entering a turbulent day. Not to control everything, but to control himself amidst everything. For self-mastery does not come from having things go our way, but from keeping dignity even when nothing does. I once lived many years without envisioning anything. I let myself react by emotion, act by circumstance, adapt by the people in front of me, until I realized I was a mirror reflecting everything that struck me, yet with no inner light. I no longer knew who I wanted to be. I only knew I was exhausted from always being the version others needed. Since I began envisioning myself each morning, I have not become perfect, but I have become steadier. I do not react as quickly, but I react more rightly. I do not always win in every situation, but I always leave with my self-respect intact. And that, to me, is the mark of a day well lived. Visualization is not positive thinking. It is the construction of an active inner self. When you begin your day by shaping who you want to become, you are living with depth, not drift. You are training so that when sudden winds blow, You are not toppled, for you have anchored yourself to a strong enough image, the image of yourself, at your best. And if you repeat this each morning, you will not only grow into the person you admire, but you will realize something deeper. You do not need to become anyone else to live with worth. You only need to be awake enough to live true to yourself, the one you already saw clearly in imagination, in silence, and in your... I once thought that changing life required grand decisions, dramatic turning points, or tearful awakenings. But in truth, what changed me most deeply was the smallest thing, the way I began my mornings. Nothing glamorous, only that I rose on time, kept silence for a few minutes, wrote down thoughts not yet formed, and asked myself, what quality do I want to live by today? Not every day was perfect, but I realized mornings with intention always carried a quiet strength, a strength that kept me from reacting recklessly, from being swept into chaos, from losing myself in the trivial. I do not live to become successful by someone else's definition. I live so that each day I may become the best version of myself, and that journey always begins with mornings of quiet simplicity. If what I shared helps you reclaim awareness for yourself, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss the next content. Thank you for your time. May your mornings be truly calm, truly steadfast, and may your life be led from within, not pulled by anything